Alright, let's see how Inside Out's doing on the Tumblr tag. Wait a second. Riley. She's naked. Why would people draw... Oh. Oh.
That's the best sounding elevator music I ever heard.
Once upon a time, in the home of Artemis Hayes, a spirit of creation found his collection of Nintendo toys. Delighted to see someone who loved Nintendo as much as he did something awesome. Something that would change the course of his future and ours forever. Grab your pizza menus and pick up an order of loaded fries, because we're diving balls first into the golden age of local multiplayer yet again. What can we say about the original N64 classic that hasn't already been said? Well, the first time I saw it, it interrupted my consumption of a Philly cheesesteak that one time, so I guess there's that. But at its core, this game cements how iconic these Nintendo characters truly are. Watching the egos clash together in death battle level detail is just a delight to behold. So we'll be sharing our memories with you across the review, because literally everyone knows this game is awesome, and they should play it yesterday. And it's pretty much insanity trying to get different results out of the same thing over and over. Ladies and gentlemen of the mob, time to riot loose with a Fandom Arson. Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo 64. Belts up, gang. We're telling another story. Once upon a time, there was a pink puff ball by the name of Kirby, created by the real-life equivalent of the Mario Brothers, Masahiro Sakurai and Satoru Iwata. Both were great men who have proven time and again to be video game development badasses in their own right, but together, they brought HAL Laboratories back from the brink of bankruptcy. Sure, they had their scuffles here and there, but at the end of the day, they were a team, and that was all that mattered. One day, Sakurai had a great idea. See, fighting games were all the rage back in the day, and they really have been getting repetitive. Street Fighter, Fart of Fighting, King of Fighters, Mortal Kombat, Killer Instinct, Darkstalkers, you name it, and they all had the same health bar system. It troubled Sakurai, for it was static, it was mundane, it was the 90s.
Thank you and good night.
So he came up with an idea where up to 4 players could pick up and play this new fighting game with a new knockback gauge, which got higher and higher the more the corresponding player is battered and bruised, until the player in question is knocked off screen, resulting in defeat. Sakurai called up Iwata to ponder what to do with the atmosphere of what was initially dubbed Dragon King the Fighting Game. One solution to this problem would be to meet up with Rareware, which was in the midst of planning out their swan song to the NES, Project Dream. Alright honky, show of hands. How many of you want the hypothetical product of Sakurai joining Rare at that time, at that era? Of course you'd want it. Sakurai and Rare work as well as peanut butter and jelly. A shame that Nintendo had to go the easy route and recycle their own ideas. Such a waste of creative talent. And now came the plan to show it off to the big cheese of Nintendo, Hiroshi Yamauchi. And he was not an easy man to impress, so the dynamic duo had to go with what's necessary. Obviously, Mr. Video Game himself, Mario, was a shoo-in with Luigi right behind him should the game pass the planning stages. The fact that he acted as the Yamcha to Mario's Goku in the game that started it all, Donkey Kong, or rather his father/grandfather did, but we'll get to that, all but solidifies DK's slot in the roster. and obviously Ling-sen, riding high on the success story from Ocarina of Time. And there's also this huge surge in popularity for the Star Fox franchise after releasing its Nintendo 64 iteration, meaning boom, Fox McCloud. With these original four up and ready, Iwata and Sakurai showed a demonstration to Mr. Yamauchi for his approval. Obviously he greenlit the project, but he gave them a tight budget, intending to only release it in Japan, as he thought the game had little to no commercial value. With the time and budget only allowing for 8 more characters, they made the most of what was available. First came Yoshi, right off the heels of Yoshi's Story in N64. If you're not sensing the pattern here, I'm saying that product placement played as big of a role putting the original game together as it did for its latest regeneration. On the inverse of this spectrum, the Metroid saga is starting to gather dust. So Sakurai and Iwata decide to throw Samus a bone and at least give her a new adventure in a world free from the chains of Rome King. And then there's the explosion of popularity in this new franchise called Pokémon, allowing a humble Pikachu to charm its way into the roster on mascot charm alone, with a Jigglypuff being not too far behind. In a fascinating move to salvage something from Dragon King, Sakurai transplanted a moveset into Captain Falcon, who rarely, if ever, steps out of his signature blue falcon.
That's a good one.
But the one thing the two had to throw in there was their own personal touch. Sure, there was the personal obligation to drop Kirby into the roster, but Iwata also had a favor to repay to his friend, Shigesato Itoi. See, Itoi planned to create this RPG set in modern times with fast food as recovery items, mafia men as in-game enemies, and fightable vomit. I mean, how can any Super Nintendo game top fightable vomit? It's fucking metal! The problem with Itoi's current skill level at that time was, for a game designer, well, he was a pretty decent comedian. But Iwata wouldn't give up, for he truly believed in the worth of the story the man had to tell, about a young boy and his friends venturing out into the world to see what it truly means to have a grateful soul. So Iwata stepped in and coded the game's text boxes for a solid week, saving the game and bringing the tale of Ness to the light of day. Then boom, he's in Smash.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
And so, with the circle complete and the cast assembled, it was time to start the first adventure. Your first stop is in Hyrule Castle, where the hero of time stood valiantly as your first trial. And then the Yoshi's Island and their local wildlife, before you head off to fly balls first into the Lilac system, as Fox shows off his skills outside of the cockpit. After breaking a few targets, we head on down to the Mushroom Kingdom, where the Mario Brothers show up to protect their turf. And just what do you think I'd do in a situation like this? Obviously, you venture onward to Saffron City to do battle with a stray Pikachu before encountering what Universal competes with the eighth wonder of the world.
Hear me? Bang! The world!
An army of Kirbys await those who board the platforms, as well as a highway to hell, or Planet Zebes. A Metal Mario commands you to race to the finish, where you face off against many a fighting Polygon soldier, before appearing before the architect of this world.
Yeah, the final boss is an evil hand.
Yes! The final boss you've traveled all this way to beat in typical fighting game fashion is a lovely god who would, in the not-too-distant future of last year, make our favorite streamer the reality-raping Mr. Fix-It he is today. Prove your worth to this god among gods within 20 minutes and you find that half the cast of 4 unlockable characters have joined you on your quest. Break the targets with each of the 8 who are with you on your quest from the very beginning, and Luigi will follow suit. Besting a more difficult rendition of the quest on the first of your 3 tries sees Ness joins the group as the dust settles. Unlock the Mushroom Kingdom stage and you have all the elements this game has to offer. Seriously, that is literally all that there is. And this is a Smash Brothers game.
Welcome to the Nintendo 64. You either get in or you get out.
Regardless, the reception was so overwhelmingly successful, Nintendo demanded a sequel be built for the GameCube. And it would have been an easy feat for the two, had it not been for the launch of the lunchbox being the deadline. And poor Iwata's presence at an executive desk job certainly didn't help. Sakurai had to sacrifice weekends and holidays for everyone involved just to get the game done, himself included, in a perfect storm of immeasurable effort and force of habit that sadly persists to this very day. They took as much time as possible to build this labor of love on time, but 1 year of development was simply suicide. But Iwata still wouldn't give up. He swooped in from beyond the conference room to test the code every day, fixing whatever bugs he finds. 3 weeks he's toiled on the testing range, and the fact that his efforts near single-handedly saved this game from the agony of delays is proof that magic and miracles are real in this world. Not that the AAA lying industry gives a damn. And on that day, Yamauchi saw in Iwata something that he'd never seen in an executive before. Something he hoped would be within the hearts of the men and women chosen to follow in that man's footsteps. Childlike wonder. On that day, Yamauchi chose Iwata to be his successor upon his exit from the company. For although his business card told him that he was a president, Yamauchi knew from his courage and sacrifice that his mind still functioned with the skills of a developer. And upon seeing Iwata's wide little smile upon inevitably landing the job, he realized that his heart was still beating with the will of a game.
I believe the morning sun always gonna shine again, and I believe a pot waits at every rainbow's end. Oh, I believe in roses, kiss with June. Why shouldn't I believe the same in you? I believe in make-believe, fairy tales and lucky charms, and I believe in promises spoken as you cross your path. Oh, I believe in skies forever blue. Why shouldn't I believe the same in you? You may say I'm a fool, feeling the way that I do. You can call me Pollyanna, say I'm crazy as a loon. I believe in silver linings, and that's why I believe in you. I believe there'll come a day, maybe it will be tomorrow, when the bluebird flies away. All we have to do is follow. I believe a dream can still come true. Why shouldn't I believe the same in you? You may say I'm a fool, feeling the way that I do. I believe in friends and laughter and the wonders life can do. I believe in something magic, and that's why I believe in you. You may say I'm a fool, feeling this way about you. There's not much I can do. I'm gonna be this way my life through, 'cause I still believe in miracles. That's when I've seen a few, and the time will surely come when you can see my point of view. I believe in second chances, and that's why I believe in you.
Thank you for playing.